just want to hit a few quick current events in the news. Other than Kanye was one, but cancel culture is is back and doing what they do. Recently, some audio, some video popped up of Joe Rogan saying the N-word, saying nigga, I can say it. But he was saying it. They got like a montage of him saying it multiple times.
The thing. Yeah, saying the word. You've already said D is just like saying. She's calling you. It's like this boy that he's and starts calling them word. There should be a word like, especially like the word. That's about. He says guy, and they're saying allowed to use the word out the word. You couldn't say.
Then they got him telling some stories about Planet of the Apes.
So anyway, we can't go to there. So I go, you got to go to one where there's Planet of the Apes, man. We're going to go see Planet of the Apes. So I look on the iPhone app, and it says, okay, take me to this one. And the guy goes, okay. I go, is that in a good neighborhood? He's like, oh, yeah. Guy barely speaks English. He takes us there. We get out, and we're giggling. Oh, we're going to go see Planet of the Apes. We walk into Planet of the Apes. We walked into Africa, dude. We walked in the door, and there was no white people. There was no white people. Planet of the Apes didn't take place in Africa. That was a racist thing for me to say. But you see what I'm saying.
Then they got him, talking about, he talking to a biracial gentleman that was in the studio with him. And
he is one of those, you know that he's got some black in him. But how much? How much? What's going on here?
Are you asking me to strip Joe Rogan now?
What are you? Yeah.
Dad's black, mom's white. Standard issue, pretty much.
Powerful combination genetic-wise, right? You get the body of the black man, and then you get the mind of the white man all together in some strange combination.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll go
one of the strongest combinations of all time.
I would say so.
Yeah, you get the body of the black man, and then you get the mind of the white man. That doesn't, by the way, mean that black people don't have brains. It's a different brain. Don't get me wrong. But I'm saying it's clearly black people have the superior bodies.
Right.
You got to be crazy to argue with that. Greatest athletes of all time, with to a man, except for a few fucking Larry Birds in there, a few weird white guys that managed to figure shit out.
Right.
Other than that, I mean, let's get real. You know, they're the super athletes.
To me, everybody's focusing on him saying nigga, and in the context, I could see why some people were defending him. I'm not cool with it, but I could see. But to me, those stories he told was a little more concerning. The Planet of the Apes story and the brain story. What did you take from those things?
First off, I don't even want to get this dude mad time because it's pretty disgusting. Like you said, with the whole nigga thing, like you saying earlier, he was quoting somebody. It's never a full excuse,
right?
But if you're really trying to look at intent and where it's coming from, it's kind of hard to say or whatever. But it's an unwritten rule. Why say that?
You won't say it.
Especially if you're not just trying to be upfront with it. You know what I'm saying? But the video just showed me he was just basically giving backhanded compliments. I'm sorry, giving straight racism disguised as backhanded compliments. Talking about it's a positive thing that he's at a movie theater full of black people and they were so cool. It was cool as shit, as if we're not cool.
Right.
I mean, honestly, we're the coolest fucking thing there is.
We control the culture.
Right, you know what I'm saying? But he was talking about cool as in not threatening,
being violent, right?
You know what I'm saying? And trying to say that all these things he's saying are positive things, but you're still just trying to paint us as monolithic, and using these stereotypes. Trying to tell the dude who was black and white, he had the black body with the white brain, has the best of both. Then he said, I'm saying something positive. They do have the best bodies. They're the best athletes, and
we got pretty good brains too.
Yeah, those work too.
I mean, from what we've learned in classes, George Washington Carver and them was some pretty good inventors. Benjamin Bannister.
Exactly.
We got some inventors that made some things. So our brains are pretty good too. But
so I mean, at the end of the day, he just sounds like a racist to me, because I've heard this 100 times before, where people were just like, "Well, I'm just stating a fact," or "I'm just those things aren't mutually exclusive." You could tell me, you could tell me that the majority of great athletes are black. You can tell me that, right? But you could tell me there's a lot of ways to tell me that. If you're using that to clean up a statement about black people's brains, it's obvious what you're doing. Like it's. I mean, people are really eat that up. Be like, he's giving y'all props actually.
Right.
Nah.
Right. He
And again, then that goes to say that we need props.
right. Right.
Now we know.
Thank you for your approval, white
The thing
man.
is, we know we the shit. It's just that you've built a model to the contrary, so ingrained into people that we have to affirm that affirm that for ourselves. So you telling us this is, we already knew this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like some of us don't know because of what's been ingrained.
Right.
But you saying that we do things well, I
Right.
mean, we people.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like what? And we come from fucking greatness, and that's what kills me when people do talk about, who are genuinely talking about, I would say, the excellence there is in blackness, and and when people are talking about that being genuine, then when white people don't hear their name, they're like, what about us? If you felt you needed the props, why would you think it's a big thing from you when we're getting props?
Right.
You want to give them out, genuinely. But then you would be mad when someone else is doing it. Shouldn't you be joining in? Like,
Right.
yeah, that's the same thing we were saying, right?
Right.
But now when you don't, when somebody's being real with the props, you're like, yeah, but what are you saying? White people aren't good at athletes?
It's funny hearing it from Joe Rogan. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that was on the comedy circuit, good friends with Dave Chappelle and and Donald Rollins and them, and a lot of comedians and stuff, was in the MMA circuit, who international, but
Right.
a lot of people. For him to say something like that, it's like, so no matter who you are around and what you've done, you still have this mindset about us.
Yeah. And one thing
So it's not even naive. It's not even ignorance.
Right.
It's not even like you still hold on to a thought of us, even with the company you keep.
And I always pay attention to the people's initial thoughts. So when he spoke about the Planet of the Apes, he was like, "Yo, we went to go see the Planet of the Apes, and we walked into the Planet of the Apes."
Yeah.
So this was before we talking about how cool as shit everybody was,
Right.
and how they had a good time, and they spoke. He's talking about, hey, you know how they say that black people, they talk during the movies.
Right.
Yeah, that's real, but it was good. Like, bro, like what?
So what would be bad? Because again, when we talk during the movie, we're talking about the movie.
Right.
Don't go in there.
The point is, talking is bad because it's talking over the movie.
Over the movie.
So you telling me you were there, you were entertained by
Right.
what was said. So you disregarded what's going on in the movie.
Right.
You were that entertained by what was being said.
Right.
And that became the entertainment.
Right. Right.
Like, come on, bro.
So again, and him being a comedian, it was like, okay, you're telling this story, and either it's a bad joke,
Right.
you're trying to give off, or you really this dumb.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just weird that, like I said,
He's not dumb, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you really of these mindsets, or these are bad jokes because they're not funny.
Nah.
And I'm not saying that because I'm black, but it's like there's no punch. Like, there's really no punchline to these stories you're telling.
Right.
It's not
Well,
a joke.
I think a racist will probably think that we went to see the Planet of the Apes and we walked into the Planet of the Apes. I think a racist person would think that's funny. I think a racist person would think that's funny.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you said, I won't give them too much time on that.
Yeah.
Y'all can look for the videos and stuff. It's a bunch of YouTube videos about that. Yeah, it's been going viral. Spotify is standing by him. They not getting rid of him. They not, because obviously he's a cash cow, and they spend a lot of money on bringing him to the streaming service. So for them to cancel him, it's gonna only hurt them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't see, and that's a business move. Yeah, I get it. You know what I mean? Like I said, the comedians defending him was one of the interesting things. And not even just comedians. A lot of people are standing on the freedom of speech platform.
I never understand that.
Which freedom of speech comes with consequences when you say
Yeah, well, freedom means you can say, but it has nothing to do with how people feel about what you say.
what you say.
I
right.
understand, like, you can have an opinion, but I
Right.
can disagree with the opinion.
I can disagree
I
with your
can be
opinion.
offended with the opinion.
I can right.
That
right.
doesn't mean because I'm offended doesn't mean I feel like you
Right.
you shouldn't have freedom of speech.
Right. And if a bunch of people address something that offended them, you have to take accountability for
Sure,
being offensive.
You said it. Because I'm mad,
Mm-hmm.
me being mad doesn't mean that I feel that you don't have the right to say what you want to say.
Right.
Sure you do.
Say it.
But
Just be prepared.
because you have the right to say it, I gotta be like, shit,
Right.
I'm tight, but I'm not gonna.
Right.
That's like when people say, when people give an opinion
Mm-hmm.
and you disagree with it and you want them to defend it, and they go, well, I have a right to my opinion. I know you
do.
You just gave it. I know you do.
As do I.
So, but I don't understand what that has to do with me disagreeing with you, me picking apart the way you defend your opinion. Of course, you have a right. Who gives a fuck about the right?
right.
You gave a weak ass opinion.
right. Right. Right.
Where if you have a right to the opinion, I definitely have a right to my opinion about your opinion. Where do the rights end? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't like what. Like I don't know. Just say you can't defend your opinion.
Right.